You are now listening to the Peter and Jake Talks Wrasslin podcast, a weekly review of Monday Night Raw and other wrestling-related topics. And here's your hosts, Peter Day and Jake Grandi.
Hello again.
Hi, people. How are you doing? You're now listening to the Peter and Jake Talks Wrasslin podcast. From what?
Raw May 9th, or March 9th, 2015?
I ain't jumping in the show yet.
Oh.
I mean, we got to get our little, plugs in, dude, at first.
I'm just ready to go.
I know you are, but we got to pay bills.
I wore your entrances, man. I'm running.
I know, right? you could be fucking huffing and puffing by the damn time to get to the ring. So, yes, pjtwcentral.com, PJTW Central at Twitter. Where can they find you?
JG Pro Wrestling at Twitter.
And we have a new what would we call it? A new podcast to the Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling family, and that's Alexa with Dang, We Love Divas. And they just uploaded their first one yesterday. That's actually doing pretty well.
Right.
I mean, you don't watch Total Divas, do you?
No.
I don't either, but there's a lot of fucking people that do. And you remember when we first uploaded Faster Than the World, it got like 10
yeah.
It's up to them, they're up to, I think, like 23 listens, and it hasn't even been at 24 hours, so I'm pretty excited about that. You realize how big that show is.
It's on E, yeah. I know it's like tied into the whole like Kardashian kind of reality show movement. So
yeah, and
I know how big that is.
And it's an interesting dynamic of following around female wrestlers. Yeah. You know, it's an untapped resource, and the show I think is one of its top viewed.
Oh really?
Yeah. I think it's doing as well as the Kardashians.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So you can find, and thank you, Lex, for doing it. If you're listening today, shout out to you. Welcome to the family.
Yeah.
And you can find her on Twitter and Instagram under Sailor Lexi. That is SAILORLEXI. So a lot has happened since you've been gone, bro.
Yeah.
Like, she came in. She kicked ass.
Oh, yeah.
You ain't jealous?
No, I actually know Alexa, and you guys, that's kind of cool that we're doing all these podcasts. We're just expanding everything.
You know her that well?
I mean, I've known her for, I would say, like a few years now. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Did you know she was a wrestling fan?
Sort of through just, like, Facebook and stuff. I didn't know she was, into doing a podcast or anything like that. But, yeah, that's cool.
Well, it took a little bit of convincing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but it seems like between her and Will, they're naturals at doing it. So yeah, you're not jealous. You're not concerned. One day you'll like go to the website and be like PA. TW.
I mean, whatever. I mean,
no, I'm just fucking with you. And next week is going to be the Go Home show, right?
No, it's 20 days, so three Raws.
3 Raws?
Or two more Raws.
2 Raws from now. And for the Go Home show, we're actually going to bring her in, and we're going to all do the
nice
the predictions together. She probably won't do the review, depending on if she works or not, but we're going to at least get her in for the predictions.
And also, we should be getting a maybe afterwards. We should get a live correspondent. He's going to maybe. I'll do an interview with this guy who's going to be at WrestleMania this year. So he goes to every WrestleMania. So he'll have.
Shit, he goes to every WrestleMania.
Yeah, he goes to every one. He's from Connecticut. He's friends with my boy Pat. So
what the fuck does he do?
I don't know what he does, man. Apparently he's a big fan. He saves up every year goes. So he's going to be not able. Is he going to be able to tell us what this mania is like? He's going to be able to maybe compare it to others, compare it to last year. And I know. How
you going to do that? Well, I mean, rather than live, would you just rather do Skype and just talk to him afterwards?
Yeah, it wouldn't be a live correspondent. It would just be a correspondent.
Oh, and you know.
Like, he'd be a correspondent at the live show, not necessarily live. Like, he's not going to be, not during the show.
And it's going to be like a...
maybe just a review, just see how it is. Maybe there's certain things that they see, because I know, like, there's a whole Access, there's a whole Weekend, Hall of Fame. just to see what it's like.
So you're gonna do like a Skype correspondence thing?
Yeah.
And then record it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and record it. Yeah.
Okay. You need help with that?
No. I got
okay. You got it? All right. Cool. So, yeah, man. Welcome back.
Yeah.
As a lot has happened within the past 2 weeks.
Cards developing, yeah.
Well, cards, people leaving companies, people getting fired for bullying.
Oh, yeah. Well, Bill DeMott, I mean, I feel like he was lucky to have the job at all, so.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. The fact that he's gone now.
But I think it's something I was talking about with Nate. What up, Nate? That this is a widespread problem. I think him being who he is, it's easier for him to take the downfall. You know, I think it's a reflection of everyone on top of the WWE, let alone other wrestling organizations. You hear stories about that all the time, about an abuse and power, and wrestlers having to basically suck it up and take it so they don't
get fired.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know, you probably hear, stuff about Jerry King Lawler. You hear something about, like, Triple H. You hear something about, like, Shawn Michaels and, the Clique and how they treated wrestlers and other trainers and stuff. And it's like, now that one has to be made an example of because we're in such a sensitive day and age, I don't commend anything that dude did. I mean, he was a bastard. Blowing up.
Sorry, Molly, we'll call you later.
For what the things were, you don't teach people that way. You don't teach people concussed. You don't teach people by hurting them after they're hurt.
I didn't read the report, so that's what they're saying. They said,
yeah.
I thought it was just a bullying thing, because I knew, like, that people have been saying that for a while, that he was kind of just like a sergeant kind of leader and not just like a helper, like a trainer.
Well, that's sort of an insult to sergeants and drill sergeants, because drill sergeants don't touch.
I guess that's true.
They don't touch their soldiers. If anything, they're on them, they yell at them, they get into them psychologically, but I don't think it's one of those things where it's one thing to have to be on the road and pretend to fight. It's another thing to go out and be trained to murder and kill, Yeah. And DeMott, if he was to be this sort of thing, I go, well, hell, dude, you need your priorities straight with what you want accomplished with these wrestlers. They're not going out to kill anybody. And you're talking about an injury, right? Mm-hmm. Someone has an injured ankle. You're not going to stand on the ankle, saying like, oh, yeah, this is how I'm going to teach you to wrestle. Like, no, you don't do that. Or someone's concussed. You're not going to touch them on the head. It's weird. Samoa Joe being a free agent since we last spoke.
That's awesome. That's like my favorite thing that's happened in wrestling all year, I would say. Samoa Joe was awesome when he was in Ring of Honor the first time. He was awesome in TNA at the beginning, but he's kind of just been rotting in TNA. So it's going to be great to see him back in Ring of Honor. I know he's wrestled Kyle O'Reilly. Mm-hmm. I've heard rumors about him coming close to the area, which is going to be kind of awesome in April. So I guess he's just going to be kind of doing the AJ Styles thing, back on the indies, kind of reviving.
He's not doing any indie dates after April 23rd.
You know that, like that. That's for sure?
Yep. And talks with Triple H is damn near finished. Like, he's coming to the WWE.
Well, good for him.
Yeah. And
he helped build Ring of Honor, and then if you look at his TNA career, I think the matches that he had with Angle at the main event they were the best pay-per-view ratings ever, including the ones with Hogan. So his track record of the two other companies of carrying the title, making it mean something in Ring of Honor and in TNA is pretty
I was asking Nate, do you think when he goes to developmental, because he's going to. Now, I understand that you got some wrestling fans who are just like, he doesn't have to go to developmental. I think the word developmental is taken out of context.
I think, it just means means NXT. I do the podcast. I'm a big fan of NXT. I think to have him go to NXT first is just, I don't even think about developing any skills. I'm just thinking about him wrestling Kevin Steen for the first time. And if you want to talk about two powerhouses who had the Ring of Honor title, Kevin Steen and Samoa Joe that's a dream match. And to have that happen anywhere would be awesome. And then, not to mention him, Devitt,
Well, I mean, the card, I mean, the matches is just infinite.
Yeah, so
whether Tyler Breeze, whether CJ, what the fuck is his name?
CJ Parker.
I mean, like, that's the thing. He's gonna come in and destroy CJ Parker. That's gonna be his debut.
Yeah.
Like, I think we're all waiting for him to do that. And CJ Parker's not. I don't think he's particularly everyone's favorite right now, but if that's his stick, to be the guy that people come in and destroy when they first enter, it's gonna get him over. Yeah. like hotcakes, when he steps out, you'd be like, yes, someone's actually gonna fucking show up.
Something's gonna happen.
Something great's gonna happen. Do you think he'll get into the league? Do you think he'll go to the upper card? Let's say he comes in May. Does he go to the upper card before Owens, before Neville, before Devitt? Because he's ready.
I don't know. I think they're all. Well, I would say Devitt and him are ready. Owens probably needs to work a little bit more. He's good for I know there's that stigma of indie talent, but I really do think that Cena has that, because the only way he really does get over is kind of abusing his power of being the guy who's supposed to get over a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He kind of I don't know. It doesn't seem like he's got he needs to kind of hone his skills a little more. But I don't know. I'm not really sure. I'm just excited for all these guys to come in, and whoever goes up is going to go up. It might be cool, maybe Samoa Joe and Cena as a tag team in the WWE. Just have two bigger guys. I don't know. What do you think?
Because they're not going to there's not going to be an overhaul of young talent coming into the main roster. It's just not going to happen. They're going to have to bring them up one at a time.
Yeah.
And whoever they feel deems ready is going to be that. I have a suspicion that he probably will surpass all those guys. Because the thing about any artist and wrestling artist, Samoa Joe is one of those guys. He's a wrestling artist. He's fine wine. But out of all those guys, whatever trade you are, a carpenter, brick mason, welder, painter, you always look forward to learning from everyone else. That's what makes you great. You take on new ideas and new experiences, and you adapt them to whatever you have. And I think that's what Samoa Joe has over the rest of, say, what's going on in NXT or any of these indie, I don't want to call it indie darlings, but indie guys that would go to developmental. They would go in with a high head thinking they know it all. He's going to go in well, what can I get out of this? He wants a pay raise too.
Yeah.
He's been busting his ass. He's a veteran, not only at putting asses in the seat, and not only in the ring, but he's at putting asses in the seat.
Yeah.
So if he takes home what he learns from, say, all these guys he hasn't faced yet, rocket ship.
Yeah,
I just hope it doesn't become this sort of, the storyline between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens is, you got called up, I didn't. And the animosity. I hope that doesn't become a real shoot of a story.
Every time someone gets
if Samoa Joe goes, before Kevin Steen, if Samoa Joe goes before Finn Balor, if Samoa Joe goes before Adrian Neville, would there be backstage heat for that? Or would they be like, yeah, dude, go ahead,
Well, I think he's been in it longer, other than Kenta. I think he's been in it longer than all of them. So I think they have a respect for him, because he's a generation before, I would say. I'm not sure how they view it, but I would say
they're all trying to eat, They're all trying to eat, dude. And that last piece of chicken, you know what I'm saying? That something that looks more delicious as time goes on,
Yeah.
And just one other thing before we move, Rey Mysterio.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome, too. Hashtag free Ray's been going on for a long time.
Freed.
Yeah, Ray Freed. That's cool. So he's in AAA, right? And he's in Lucha Underground.
They just signed him to AAA, and they're going to work out a way for him to make it into to Lucha.
Which is awesome. So now they have they got some stars there now. They got Alberto. They got Ray. They're building up newer stars like, Cage and, Ricochet.
And that's the thing. what I was talking about with Nate was, so you got ADR, you got Rey Mysterio, and you have what's the other one? Yeah, ADR, Rey Mysterio. Is someone else in there?
I mean, Chavo. But...
Well, that's someone else. Well, anyway, I think those guys have already had their shine.
For sure.
What I love about Lucha Underground is the fresh new talent that they have. And you got already guys that's already... And I know they become cells. Those are the money makers. But then it's like, I just hope it doesn't stifle the growth of, say, Prince Puma, Ricochet, Phoenix, Sexy Star.
See, I would say that I would be worried about that in maybe saying like the WWE, but I think the people who are booking it in Lucha Underground are like, isn't it Conan who's books in AAA, and Chavo who's like no stranger to being held down kind of by politics, and so I think that they're gonna like work with it and like use these stars, especially since the stars are pretty much focused on AAA. They already got their shine in AAA, a big promotion like that. So
Pentagon Jr.
Yeah, they can do things like like having Prince Puma beat AD or having Prince Puma beat Ray in like kind of a dream match, and then through these feuds maybe taking on the road a little bit, maybe getting on Spike, because Spike doesn't have a wrestling show. I heard rumors of that.
Getting on the road, I just don't view it as this traveling promotion. What they give to me is something different. It would be a shame for them to leave the
set or whatever.
Yeah, the temple. It would be weird. It would just be weird for me.
I can definitely see him doing something like maybe like not on the road per se, but every few weeks doing different casinos, different things like that, where just like you have a general population going to do something, like in a Vegas or in like Atlantic City, what have you. That'd be cool.
I think sketchy places, like it shot in, like they build another sketchy place somewhere.
Yeah,
like we are in Philadelphia, and you're like in some crazy armory they done built into like some shady temple type places, like the representation of these what's the guy's name?
Sacred places.
What's this guy's name? Querno, the boss of the temple.
I'm not.
That he has a network of underworld bosses that have their own temples.
Yeah.
That they would go to, and what they would do is who's ever in that local temple, that would be the showcase of this person. Like, all right, just this dude in Philadelphia, this guy in Chicago, this guy in Miami, this guy in Houston, and I just, they're gonna have to expand at some point. I like it for what it is. It's not gonna get any bigger being what it is. I just hope they don't compromise the creativity of the actual show in order to spread this out and put them on the road. NXT, it is a wrestling promotion, so I see that. But it's just so costly.
Maybe I think I know that it's on TV in Europe, so I think maybe if they just send those guys to do things and just where the WWE isn't very often, so you could get crowds.
It's still money. It's you lose money. You just hope to break even when you're on the road. You make money at house shows. You don't make money at tapings, because you have the production and everything to pay for and the streaming and whatever, dude. It's just ridiculous. So I just hope between Lucha Underground and NXT that they can work out a budget to where they don't really actually hurt themselves more than help. So you want to get into this Raw?
Let's do it.
Thanks for talking a little bit.
Yeah, no problem.
Well, it's been a while, actually, since we've actually tried to make a discussion of some shits. So what was your feeling about Pittsburgh?
Yeah, we had talked earlier. The crowd was kind of wish-washy, I feel like. I don't really know much. I know Philly's pretty big, and so I guess I just expected Pittsburgh to kind of pick up on that. I know that Ring of Honor does real well in Pittsburgh. But, the crowd was kind of dead tonight. And I think this first segment they were kind of dead too. But, if you really pay attention to it, it wasn't really, designed for it to get, a real cheer, out of it. It was kind of meant for you to pick up on the awkwardness, which is kind of something you don't cheer, You don't boo awkwardness. You don't cheer awkwardness. But with that said, I think it was done real well, where, the Big Show really played it up. And then, Randy Orton kind of pretty much calling him out, pretty much, telling the crowd that he's going to turn on him at the end of the night and then making it seem like a joke. which I thought was pretty awesome. I think everyone did a great job this opening segment where we had like the Authority pretty much out there kissing Randy Orton's ass a little bit, trying to get him back on their side, even though he claimed to be on their side. What'd you think, Peter?
The stars of this were Noble and Mercury. They were the stars of this.
Oh yeah, where Noble didn't believe him.
Well, I mean, that's their whole thing. I don't know what's happened between say when they first entered. The first time people noticed Jamie Noble, I think he was escorting
Nydia.
Huh?
Nydia? Are you talking about the first time? Okay.
Yeah, well, like, he showed up, and the crowd's like, Jamie Noble. Since then, we didn't really know his spot because he was like, kind of like, he got noticed doing, I think, a Stephanie McMahon sort of thing, and she was getting escorted or something weird, and people picked up on the fact that he was in the arena, and they started yelling Jamie Noble as it went off the air.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he became sort of, it's like, we'll get Joey on it. Then you start hearing his name. We'll get Joey on it. We get Joey on it. We get
Jamie.
We get Jamie on it. We get Joey on it. And it all accumulated to them saying, these guys can be very useful. And now they're J&J. And when they first debuted, you kind of lost some heat on them. But like when they first showed up, you were like all about them.
Yeah.
It was the opposite way around. I was like, oh, whatever, dude. They're just doing their shtick. I mean, I have faith that they'll get better. But now I'm just like, I'm a mark for these guys. Because they do their jobs really well. Noble's thick southern accent. And the fact that they get their money protecting Rollins. He's accepted his size. He's to be taken seriously. They're both to be taken seriously. Right. They do their job so well. And then when their characters come out, it's just like, well, they are fall guys. But they do their job to protect Rollins. And they don't mind being those fall guys. And that segment itself, because Big Show, Kane, you know what Rollins and what they're doing, but like, we don't know the characters of Noble and Mercury. And this is one of those spots where
they come out a little bit.
Yeah, they come out and they hit it right on the nose. And he's like, I don't trust him. I don't.
Yeah.
What does he say? No good snake to be trusted. Just.
And I love how Joey Mercury just didn't want to even say anything.
He didn't want to say anything.
Oh no, come on.
Yeah. I thought it was great. And when he went into the whole shoot, I go, wow, I sort of saw him sort of snapping on everyone. I thought that was cool. But when he got to giving away the storyline to Rollins, I was like, he didn't really need to do that.
I think that like most of the time I would have been not okay with that, but since it was so obvious already that it was kind of interesting and funny to go that extra mile, especially since like they're kind of trying to make it funny with like Noble and even Big Show a little bit. But
the Noble and Mercury parts, especially when he went to talk to Noble, talking about how his daughter can get on the Disney rides, and he starts talking to him like a baby, and Mercury's sitting there taking it, sucking it up, and then he just goes over to Mercury and he just ignores Mercury. Those were the two comedy spots.
Yeah.
The actual parts where you said, But this whole rib of a joke, that's 2 weeks in a row we've gotten that kind of thing. Last week with Booker T and Triple H. Oh, you're fired. Oh, I'm just kidding. And now you got Randy Orton doing the same thing. I just go, well, I see it. I saw that part, but like for him to just give away the storyline, it's almost like the Ultimate Warrior showing up to WCW and shooting on fucking Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
And his shoot was like basically what was scripted to happen. I'm coming to kick your ass, Hogan, and take the belt from you. Like not in a way that, no, but in a way like, yes, I'm here for this. Yeah. So get ready to lose your title. Not in a competitive way, but no, this is the storyline. And he just did that shit for this. And I just go like, I think it was kind of pointless. I wish he wouldn't have went into that. I wish he would have actually played a little more dubious about his intentions, because it's all out on the table.
Yeah, and then, I think, it kind of got you ready for the main event, which is what it was kind of supposed to supposed to do. And then not only will Wiz Khalifa be there tonight, but Brock Lesnar, the world champ, will be there.
Mm-hmm.
They announced. That's pretty cool. Anytime that they have, like, I think, like, bands, rappers, anything like that, I think it's cooler and it's better than having people like Kathy Lee like they had, you know.
Was it Kathy Lee and Oda?
Yeah. Anytime they have people like that, it kind of ruins it, but like a performance matches with wrestling, which is, so.
Well, I feel like the whole idea of Jon Stewart showing up last week, he raised the bar on celebrities showing up with wrestling knowledge.
Yeah.
I wish they tapped into that more. Like Michelle Beadle. Like if they got Michelle Beadle in something, she would actually be able to be in there and be a legitimate fan of the product to where if they script her to it, she's a performer. She can actually make the segment look legit. Melissa Joan Hart, you know.
Oh, she's a wrestling fan?
Dude, just go. She does live tweets of Raw every fucking week. And so on and so forth. So we'll get into the whole Wiz Khalifa thing, but him in the house doing 3 songs was a little bit much, but I wish they would have scripted him more. I wish he was more aware of the product. And I think I would have been more excited if I knew online, like if I followed him on Twitter, he'd make a comment about like how he wishes the Big Show would retire.
Oh, yeah.
Versus just, oh yeah, I'm a big rap star from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why he was there, though. I think.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. And what you said, what'd you think of the Brian Bad News Barrett?
Oh yeah, so Brian versus Wade Barrett. I'm sick of the Bad News thing because they're not really doing anything with the Bad News character. It's just Wade Barrett. He's getting his ass handed to him. With Truth back on commentary, acting like, and it's bad. This is insulting because it's like, you know how I don't know if you how I feel about Truth and the idea of the R-Truth character. It's such a minstrel show. It's insulting to me as alright. It's insulting to me as African American and an African American wrestling fan that a guy that's getting a push is out there shucking and jiving and talking and doing some whole shit. So let's go over the shit that he talks about, right? Okay. So he's on commentary. The first thing Michael Cole goes is, hey, right? Smack in the face. They start talking about potatoes. You want to pick some potatoes? And they're playing off the potato of, you know, like.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, but like it's still like it's stupid. It's dumb. They're playing off of picking potatoes, right? They talked about how he's scared of heights, right? Heights. Dikembe Mutombo. We start talking about like, not in my house, no, right? They're just playing off verbiage, you know, and how black people talk, right? And act, right? So they're not calling the match at all. They're over there shucking and jiving with fucking R-Truth the entire segment. And Brian wins with a flying knee.
Yeah, and there was also a nice boot Barrett laid on Brian in the match too. I thought this was a good short match. Brian wins. And then,
And Barrett, with the title, goes to 1-9.
And
and afterwards, he pops him with the bull hammer. And where he pops him with the bull hammer, what was it? No, not when he pops him, but I guess when there's a spot where they show on the ramp and a guy has a $9.99 sign. I thought that was pretty funny. I'm like, this guy's not over the $9.99 gimmick yet, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much.
And then Ambrose comes in and jacks Barrett's jaw. Nevertheless, of all the shucking and jiving part, God, it's so bad because it returns.
Yeah. He's not only R-Truth is still at ringside. This is kind of one long segment here. Then they have Dean Ambrose.
This should be my heel moment of the night. If they do it next week, it's the return of the Peter's heel promo. Tonight's Peter Hill's promo of the night next week if they do this shit again. Maybe on SmackDown. Now that I'm reviewing SmackDown.
It was Dean Ambrose versus Stardust. R-Truth's still out there. Real quick match. Dean Ambrose wins with the Dirty Deeds. Too quick to be good or bad. But then Bad News comes out and attacks Dean again, leading to Brian coming out, attacking Bad News. A big brawl with Harper, Ziggler all come out. And while that's going on, R-Truth puts, like, he was putting over that, the potato bag or whatever, and he puts the belt in there, and then he gives Barrett a fake belt. But by the time Barrett realizes it, R-Truth is already at the top of the ramp, stealing the real Intercontinental title. And this is I think, weird build-up with them all trying to steal the title. But I think this is going to be a good match. I'm not real happy with Bryan being in a 6-way ladder match. It's kind of like, he had such a prominent role last year. It'd be cool to just see him even in a singles match or a 3-way match, but 6-man ladder match. It's going to be a good match. Ziggler's in it, Harper's in it, Bryan's in it.
Well, the only two people that matter is Ziggler and Bryan, culminating to this. We're not even sure this is done yet with this IC belt, right?
Yeah.
We're not even sure that this is the entire card. The only thing that throws me off is two things that throws me off about this storyline, right? A, the amount of wrestlers that are in this. So let's name them off.
Ziggler, Harper, R-Truth, Bad News Barrett, Dean Ambrose, and Daniel Bryan. 6.
And Stardust.
Oh, and Stardust. 7 people.
7 people, right? Speaking of fucking... are they going to be in the Andre Memorial Battle Royal? Any of these guys?
I hope not. That would just kind of...
That's the thing. Why not these guys in the Memorial Battle Royal? Even though we're all anticipating Mizdow to win this. It's something we can talk about a little bit later.
Okay.
I anticipate either 2 people winning it. I anticipate either Mizdow winning it. I anticipate Ryback winning it. So regardless of who they want to go with, right? And now those guys that are in this ladder match, I think will just make fun would build these are bigger guys. These are higher mid-card guys. I think they would serve a role better suited in a Memorial Battle Royal than like Harper than say Los Matadores. Than say
Los Matadores might be in this tag match.
Yeah, I know that's something else. I mean, there's a clusterfuck, man.
I think it's better to have a raised bar of not everyone in the Battle Royal, like especially for guys like Harper who have been doing so well throughout the year, to have them in a spot like a ladder match. And then they've, ever since they've done the Money in the Bank ladder match as its own pay-per-view, it's really taken something out of WrestleMania for me. Like, if I go back and watch all the WrestleManias, like in the early, like the 20s, like 23 through 26 or whatever, all those great Money in the Bank matches, those were like my favorite parts of, WrestleMania. It really got Kofi Kingston over, really got like Shelton Benjamin, John Morrison really did a lot of cool stuff.
And now look at him.
Yeah. Well, that being said, they were good matches at the time, so like, it would be cool just to make the card, stand out a little bit. Just have kind of a different match,
The guy who's going to steal the show is Harper, and this is something we'll talk about much later. We can move forward, so we don't get too hung up. But it's going to boil down to who gets knocked off the ladder at the end, Daniel Bryan or Dolph Ziggler. That's all this is. Harper is going to be a dark horse. That guy's going to he's going to tear ass.
We've already seen Harper and Ziggler in that great ladder match. I think it was at Survivor Series.
His arm almost snaps in fucking half.
So,
and he kept going at a high level, super high level. You see what he did to Daniel Bryan last week? Harper? The match between Harper and Daniel Bryan, probably one of the stiffest matches of the year.
Really?
He beats Bryan. He snake eyes his ass. Right? It's scary snake eyes. He does a belly to belly on his ass. He does a fucking, what do they call it when you put the arm between the legs and he lifts and goes back? Just look for it. It's the most brutal thing.
Nice.
But it made him look really good. And in a ladder match, we had all these smaller guys. He's just as agile as all those guys. It's going to be incredible as the big guy in that ladder match. And he's going to be the one clearing the way. And it's going to be about... And we can speak on more, Bryan and Ziggler. We speak more about it. But this whole Cody Rhodes involvement.
Yeah.
What the fuck? What the fuck happened? Did they look back on Survivor Series, Fastlane? And they go ugh.
Yeah, I guess
this
so.
Is a bust.
They really did throw away the Goldust feud by the wayside.
He showed up on SmackDown. I could have kicked my computer.
Goldust?
Yes. He showed up on SmackDown. That's when we got it. You know how last week was Ziggler super kicks fucking Harper and he climbs the ladder? He takes out Bryan and then he climbs the ladder with the fucking belt. And I just go what the fuck? Are you kidding me? Did they just scrap this? I hope they go back and explain what happened with the whole Road story on Monday. Nope. And it's like, it's not even brought up. The selective memory that these fucking people at WWE Creative have. They go like, nah, we're just going to forget this.
Yeah. What'd you think about the Warrior Award?
Oh, yeah, those goddamn onions got chopping again, huh?
Oh, yeah. Every time I watch that YouTube video, I have to, like, at least pause it for a little bit, catch my breath, man. I want to watch.
I ain't going to go all out like that. I just think it's awesome that this kid is... Because that's the whole point. This kid just wanted to be so part of the WWE, you know? In his short lifespan, like, he knew so much about the product. He felt like he belonged in that. When you watch it, it wasn't like he was just like starstruck. He felt like he belonged, you know, with everybody, and how he talked to people, and how, like, something as simple as popping Triple H and hooking the leg, you know, things of that nature. It's like the kid was advanced. He meant a lot to everyone in that company, and to honor him enough to put him into the Hall of Fame. I mean, it's kind of another dead person going into the Hall of Fame. But if there's any dead person that deserves to go in, and you want to stay on top of this and then create a fund in his name, would be Conor the Crusher. It would be.
Right. And then we had a Reigns.
You have nothing else to say about it?
Oh, I mean, you said it, man. I mean, it's a heartwarming story. It's upsetting that he had to pass so young, but it's kind of cool that they're making this new Warrior Award. Hopefully they put more guys in there. It's gonna be interesting to see where they go with this award. Maybe charitable contributions can get you there. Maybe just like being big. Maybe it could just be like the fan award, or like.
Well, do you know you remember the speech? What his Warrior Award was all about?
A little foggy.
It was about the guys on the road, production guys. He goes, these production guys are just as important to the WWE as anybody. The cameramen, the lights guys, the guys who build the ring. He goes, those guys, you know, he gave them a big shout out. He's like, those guys need to be commended for their hard work.
Yeah, why not?
And I want to create, and it was like, I have this idea of creating a Warrior Award, try to say that 3 times fast, to give credit to those guys, the guys in the production room, you know, the guys that are, you know, driving, using their own money to get to these places to make the WWE product what it is. So that's what people are kind of like ragging on. I think it's pretty nitpicky. I understand what the thing is, but that's the beauty of the Warrior Award. I think it has the potential to really expand to be a lot of different things.
Yeah,
like it's like an achievements award.
Yeah, a way to give credit to someone who's not necessarily an in-ring talent. And yeah, I don't see a problem with
I would see next year the guy who because the WWE is behind that walking thing, you know, that robot, like,
yeah,
what the hell is that called?
I don't know, but that was crazy on Raw. That one.
Yeah, you remember that? I feel like that guy would go in next year as in the Hall of Fame as contribution to. It's almost like, what is it? Human, like to humans, you know, like that.
Yeah, humanize.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's part of technology and history. Like, he's the first to be able to use this machine, and he's walking. And there's hope for people who are paraplegic or can't walk or paralyzed. Like, that brings hope. So we'll see what happens with that award. And you couldn't have started off better with the guy, Conor, whatever. Conor.
Then we went to the Reigns vignette. And then it got, like after the Reigns vignette, they panned out and Heyman was in the room.
Oh, yeah, which starts the second hour.
Yeah. And then he said, like, allow me to retort it. Lesnar comes out. They cut pretty much, your basic, Paul Heyman on Brock Lesnar promo about how Reigns is not going to beat him. Brock Lesnar's not going to lose. Reigns is really good, but not as good as Lesnar. It's doing a real good job because I feel like that's a lot of how fans feel. So for Heyman just to, like, kind of put it out there so bluntly, it adds to the effect, and just Heyman, Lesnar just standing there with the belt.
Mm-hmm.
mean mugging everybody.
Because we're also coming off of the whole storyline of him not being at Raw and walking out, and now he's in there. I thought he was going to actually say something. I honestly did. But the Heyman promo, it got good at the end. But that story about like the Wild Samoans taking Reigns to like bars.
Oh, yeah.
And things like that. I thought that was a little too much. I understand the sentiment of like, we're just putting them over as like, because that's all they're doing. Have you noticed that with the Heyman promos? He has to put over Reigns somehow.
Yeah, I have a hunch that the reason why Rhino is in NXT is to kind of help Reigns a little bit.
Oh, you're talking about shoot style? You're talking about like he's there.
Yeah. To break, I guess break down the fourth wall a little bit. I guess like I think that might be why he's in NXT. Is just like maybe help him out, maybe show him like the right. I don't know. Maybe I'm going too far into it, but I think Rhino's gonna be there to help Reigns a little bit. Yeah.
I'd imagine he has the entire fucking. He has everyone back there. I imagine he has everyone in there. Like I could just see this image of Roman Reigns in the ring, and then you have like all these legendary guys around him. Just do this. Like
oh, yeah.
He's so protected right now, and it's maybe Rhino's there for that. Maybe a couple of other people are there. He has everyone to his disposal to make him better, and he's actually showing his ass off in the ring for the past 2 weeks. But the wind is still taken out of people. We went from angry to just not caring, apathetic about anything dealing with this. And again, that story he tells about how he's putting them over to being like, okay, he's this tough guy. His dad left him in bars to beat up football players at the age of 9.
Yeah.
Like, that sounds like a goddamn fairy tale. I just, like, you could have done without that.
Then we had a Bray promo, and then we had a match.
Wait. He brought up the screw job. He brought up, and his mic goes out again. I don't know what the deal with that is. Why his mic has to go out.
It seems like mics have been going out with the past year more than ever. With like, remember Batista and Stephanie, and then it's been going out I think a few times with Randy Orton and the Authority specifically, and now with Heyman. I don't know.
He got pissed. They need to just cut his mic off every time.
He gets pissed?
Yeah, well, every time he's on the mic, because he ends up like going nuts. Like last week. Like, I don't think if the mic goes out, I don't think he's as fiery within the promos. And then he shoots on the UFC. He goes talk about combining the WWE and UFC titles, and this title no longer belongs to the WWE. And not only did he kill the streak, he damn near killed the Undertaker. So like those were like just bona fide stabs at the WWE, more or less, than say the match between Reigns and Brock, but just the state of the company in general. I just thought it was pretty bold. Those last 3 statements were pretty bold.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I think that he would. I mean, Heyman can say pretty much whatever he wants. He's kind of respected enough. But yeah, even at that, I think you're right. I don't know.
No, I was just saying. Like, I think those last 3 statements he's made were pretty fucking bold ones. It was a shoot. It really felt like a shoot. UFC, he brings up UFC. You're not supposed to talk about.
Oh, yeah, talks about Ronda Rousey and everything.
Yeah. He's like, you're not supposed to bring up other promotions. You're like, what the fuck are you doing? And then you're gonna rag on the Undertaker. You almost killed the Undertaker. I don't know. Whatever. We'll move on though.
Yeah, we had a Bray promo. It was in the back. We're gonna have a really cool one in the ring, but this was just your basic Bray promo. Still calling out Taker, and then we moved on to a match with Big Show and Kane versus Rowan and Ryback.
Crickets. This is sponsored by Cricket Wireless, by design. Because I don't know what the fuck it is about Eric Rowan. Anytime he gets out there,
it's that song, man. That song is like
it's as simple as soon as those fucking stairs ended up around his neck, for the pin on the Big Show, like when he got pinned by the Big Show, that was it for that guy. That was it. It killed him dead. It killed him dead. So you got these two bums, between Ryback and Eric Rowan, You remember at Fastlane, they lost with Ziggler, a bunch of losers, right? Now, there's no way to turn this around between Ryback and Rowan. So they come out to crickets, right? It ends up, pretty decent match, but like nobody, like I said, this is cricket wireless, and I think I heard someone texting during that match. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how quiet it was in that fucker. And so that, they're running with the whole odd couple pairing between the Big Show and Kane, and this has been since the Royal Rumble. Within the match, the Big Show punches Kane by mistake, and Rowan gets the pin. And then Kane and Show they bicker and whatnot, and then Steph comes out, which is your weekly emasculation.
Yeah. I think they just know that she loves doing this. They write it in for every week just so she can release a little stress or whatever. Because it doesn't really help any storyline every time she does this.
I feel like even last week with Cena and her shoot on Cena, I think it's all passive aggressive banter at AJ Lee. I don't think she's over that shit yet. That when AJ shot on her on Twitter about
what did she say?
Well, it was the whole use your voice thing. Like, at the Oscars, I can't remember the actress, but she cut a promo about how women should get equal pay, kind of a thing. And then Stephanie went on Twitter and was like, yeah, thank you to this actress for saying this. Women do deserve equal pay. Use your voice, right? So AJ Lee fires back and just like, how dare you talk about use your voice, where not only do women get no time in the ring, they also get paid less than the men. So, I don't know what you're talking about, right? And apparently Stephanie was enraged, and she basically Vince stepped in and was like, nah. Her next tweet was, thank you for your kind suggestions or whatever, like, thank you for your opinions, kind of a thing. And then that was at that. So I don't know who I was talking to, but it dawned on me the way she was talking to Cena, and now this week how she's talking to Big Show and Kane. It's like she's directing. It's like passive aggressive. If you put AJ Lee in front of Cena and Show and Kane, it looked like it would make sense. So, but nevertheless, let's call out the biggest dudes, take their fucking nuts away from them, kick them out the arena. And look at me, I'm Stephanie McMahon, the most powerful woman in the world.
Yeah.
Oh well.
So whatever. And then we went to the back. We had The Miz talking to Wiz Khalifa. And then
the greatest moment of the night.
Yeah, and Miz is just trying to convince them to maybe work with him. They want to do the Miz and Wiz, and Wiz Khalifa pretty much says that he's already got a guy, Wizdow, and then there was Mizdow there. It cuts a little, very time to the beat rap, and then
because he can rhyme.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a poet. I mean, like it's funny. Yeah. You look at him as a modern day. He's a modern. I mean, and it's when he was the intellectual savior.
Yeah,
like a modern day.
Lady Papa.
Yes, yes. So it's just this the way it felt natural in his whizzed out character. Like he's just like, yo, what's up? It didn't seem minstrel at all. It seemed like if you take off the Mizdow uniform or Damien Mizdow, take all that shit, you go hang out at the bar. This is the guy that's you're hanging out with.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what it seemed like. And it was funny because it took that moment to realize, because nothing dawned on me to play off Wiz. Nothing at all.
I didn't pick up on that either. Yeah, it was just to kind of say Damien Mizdow is funny. It's pretty funny. And
he spits about joining the battle royal.
Yeah, and then then we cut to a Sheamus vignette. Still don't care. And then Wiz Khalifa performs. I'm not really into his songs particularly, but it's always good, like I said before, to have like a star. I know he's pretty fucking big, right?
Yeah, he's a big guy. Yeah. And the whole thing with Amber Rose.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The divorce that's happening there, and I mean he's definitely a.
They're divorced. I thought.
Yeah, they're going through a divorce.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah. Something weird. I mean, I don't know much more about it. It all started with Peter Rosenberg, like airing it out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then it turned into a hot mess. But they're not together no more. There's a kid in the middle, blah, blah, blah. But everyone knows that storyline. Everyone knows he's a big rap star. He's from Pittsburgh. He comes out. I just found he performs We Them Boys. That anytime I play that shit at a club, people just don't care. So maybe he's bigger regional or to a younger crowd than, say, I don't know. Then he does Black and Yellow. I was like, God damn. You actually did Black and Yellow? Of all songs?
I mean, that was like his biggest hit still, right? I mean,
that song is like
it's kind of
6 years old, man.
Yeah.
It's to be forgotten. Maybe you could play it at a Pittsburgh Steelers song game or something, but like, don't try to play that live today on primetime television. It's just not going over. And then he does all for the family, and he's doing it in a Cena shirt. Cut off Cena shirt.
Well, fuck yeah. Gotta represent.
He could have wore something else.
I don't know. I didn't.
It just seemed like blatant product placement.
Oh, well, yeah.
Oh, yeah, let's put Wiz Khalifa in a John Cena shirt. That'll get the kids to buy the shirt. And then, when it's done, they kept showing like one girl.
Oh yeah, with the signs.
Yeah, or something. It just looked awkward, and then like when it was over, he got some booze, which I thought was pretty funny. It's like, dude, I'm here to watch wrestling. I'm not here to watch Wiz Khalifa.
Yeah, boom, fuck it. That's the cool thing about wrestling.
I can run into this motherfucker at the gas station. I don't feel like him taking up like 15 minutes of my time.
Of Diva time, actually.
Yeah, because I made a post about that on Twitter.
Yeah. We had the Divas match after that.
Well, the plug for the Flintstones thing.
Oh, yeah. Well.
And them in the backstage with the Flintstones stuff, and they're doing all the puns and the spin-offs. And alright, whatever. Sorry about that.
Oh, yeah, I mean... And then, it was a real quick match. AJ Summer Rae. AJ wins with the Black Widow.
Where's the suspense in an AJ Lee match?
I have no. Yeah, it was kind of. It's kind of just like the Randy Orton match. You're just waiting for the RKO.
You're just waiting. You're just waiting for the match to be over.
And then they pretty much, the announcers the whole time talked about Summer Rae. They were like, we have never seen Summer Rae get really going. We think she might win a title. And all of a sudden, boom, AJ Lee's got her pin or not tapping out.
But that's the thing about AJ Lee's matches. She doesn't control at all in any of the matches. It's all about the end. And whoever has to set her up for that Black Widow, that's it. There's no suspense whatsoever. And I'm sick of her. Go away.
Huh.
You,
I guess, man.
Paige, get the fuck on. Bellas, go away. They need to just revamp that.
Especially, did you see we'll get to it, but yeah. Then the Sting vignette, Sting promo. They call it promo. It's more like a vignette.
Package.
Yeah, distorted voice Sting, but you could still.
It was not distorted.
It was a little deeper.
That was the guy who does.
That was Sting. You could tell. But
I'm gonna cut this part. Where are we? It's the voice of this off record. It's the voice of the guy who does the Monday Night Wars.
Oh.
So the voice, what you said, it sounded distorted. The more I listened to it, it made sense. It sounded like the guy who hosts the whole WWE Monday Night Wars show that they have on the network, and his name is Keith David.
No, I mean, yeah, I didn't. I've watched the Monday Night Wars thing a little bit, but that's kind of cool.
You didn't hear the voice resemblance?
I thought it was Sting. I thought they just distorted Sting's voice, but I mean, that's just, I don't know.
Sting sounds like you.
I know, but I think that's why distortion would make someone sound different. And then I thought
he doesn't talk, but he doesn't talk in this majestic way.
But it was with this like cadence. You could hear like and like I've heard a lot of Sting promos and it picked up where his voice would pick up and stuff like that. It's, I mean, it's whatever, but
it's not whatever. It's probably the dumbest thing they could have done. I think. Why are you going to do this whole anticipation of him finally speaking? And then you give us this package of a fake voice, a distorted voice, this, that, and the other. Why are you doing that? Now, I imagine, listen to other podcasts and the idea of Sting talking or not talking. Like, his mystique of him not talking it works.
Yeah.
This guy can actually that's his mystique, not talking. And when he does get on the mic, it can ruin it, because he kind of comes off as like this sort of surfer boy,
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. I think
he comes off as this surfer boy, and it doesn't really give that much impact to him being this mystical, sort of dark character. Now, he could have said something. They could have showed him on a Titron. They could have did something with him. And him not saying a lot to address the thing. But this thing we got,
I thought it was pretty cool.
Waste of time.
It actually tied so much together. It said like he was against the NWO when he was in WCW, and now with the authority they have now, he's against that. So he's always been fighting this cause. He's just been waiting for his time. I think they tied up a little loose ends with what they were alluding to with the Hunter promo. And I just like this character. I really like Sting. I mean, I'm pretty much a mark. Anything he would do, I'm pretty much a...
Yeah.
So.
I didn't consider it a Sting product. I think it was about Sting.
I just like how they tied it together, how he's just like... He just doesn't like this idea of this authority. That's why he's fucking with Triple H. That's why he's been, getting in their way. It's just he just doesn't like that type of thing, just like he didn't like the NWO. And that's like kind of seen as the same thing.
Because I tuned it out.
Oh, okay.
Because when I heard the voice... I tuned it out. I said, this is unnecessary. But what makes a twist to this is that the storyline of Triple H making this WCW versus WWE is dumb. And if he's going to talk about, I'm just against authority, evil authority, it really shifts the storyline now. They could actually go into a WrestleMania match with this idea of what it should have been in the first place.
Yeah.
This vigilante to take out the evil empire. Not this, WCW was a failure and you're a failure too, and I still hold a grudge.
Well,
I still hold a grudge. And I'm here to take out WWE, WCW. That's stupid. He won.
Triple H always has to get his little shots in anytime he can about anything. So
but it just comes off as so.
This is literally
weird.
My least favorite wrestler versus my favorite wrestler. Like,
ain't it right?
No,
ain't
it really
right?
is though. It is. Like, this is the craziest match. Like, I can't get over every time I see the promos for this match. I just get like baffled that it's actually happening because I've always booed Triple H. I've always cheered Sting.
Well, like you gave him like X-Pac heat. Like you just
Triple
didn't
H,
want him to be around.
Yeah, I don't like in the ring on the mic. I just Triple H just doesn't do it for me ever. And Sting has always just been the man. Remember when Vader? Oh, dude, I don't even want to.
Yeah, I mean, dude, you have to tell me. I mean, Sting is my childhood favorite.
Yeah.
Not Hogan. Again, my favorites are who they are. The top three. You know my top three. But my childhood, my hero as a kid, Sting, dude. Nothing else. Not Mickey Mouse. Not Santa Claus. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely know, man.
Yeah. So.
Then the Cena Rusev in the back.
Captain America. Don't you dare badmouth America. I know you're not gonna take my match. Yeah. But you're in a country and you're benefiting. And you get to say your piece and you go out there, damn it, and you speak bad about America. I'm gonna come out there and fuck out of here with that bullshit.
But then the best part about it was we got to see a little bit of Axelmania.
Mania!
42 days, 23 hours, and 30 minutes.
On the Titron, baby! He got the clock! He got the Y2J clock, baby!
And then, like he obviously said that if you say anything bad, like he's gonna, come out. So obviously, he made short work of Axel. Started, shit on America. Cena comes out, puts him in the STFU, and then Lana gives him the U.S. title match, which we all knew was going to happen, but it was kind of cool how he set it up. Because I think it's kind of interesting how, like, they kind of were doing this with Cena with the Edge thing a few weeks ago, and then Cena kind of learned from that, I guess, to then do it to Lana, I guess, or maybe I'm reading into it.
He couldn't have attacked Lana, and we were talking about this. I was trying to discuss
I didn't mean it like that. I'm saying, like, in the Edge, I was saying a few weeks ago, Cena had to give the stipulation of letting the Authority back in the same type of scenario, where they're just giving what they want to let go of the person they like. So maybe Cena learned from that, I was thinking, but maybe that's reading too much into it.
That's reading a little. I can't put over WWE creative that much. I just can't.
And I think, like, Rollins, another thing I think is, like, Rollins has his blonde hair, and he had, like, when he was good, he had, like the blonde hair was, like, almost half his head, but now that he's getting more evil, it's, like, leaving more and more. I don't know, man. Like, I think about these.
No, that's you morphed into the Simpson comic book guy.
Yeah, for sure.
With the ponytail and the white T-shirt. That's you right now. That much attention to detail. I imagine I'm not going to rule it out. I think it's fun to think about it that way. But I just say in general, we've seen flashes of Cena do some dastardly things as a face.
This was definitely pretty vindictive. Of his main things.
Whether STF and a guy who's given up through a fucking truck, through the floor, like off of a truck, which is Batista. I give up. All right, whatever. Shit, dude, that's pretty fucked up as a face. You look at the whole Bray Wyatt thing and him throwing the stairs. It's like Hogan would have never threw stairs at Macho Man. Like, what are you, crazy? Or at, like, what are you doing? And then you see him just do sort of different dastardly things. And this is just another one of those dastardly things. He goes in. It sucks that Rusev can't look strong. He goes in. Okay, it's after a match. I see if it was like some 7-8 minute match that he was in, to where Cena could overtake him. But he made quick work of Curtis Axel.
Yeah.
So he's fresh.
But Axel doing this Axelmania thing, I think that they're going to bring Hogan in for this angle. I think
nope.
I think this angle's pretty dry. They got to put a little something to it.
They could have did a better job.
Real American thing.
They could have did a better job with Lana, with the angle of Lana being the reason. Not saying that Cena had to abduct her or like do something.
Yeah. But
I feel like she had to take some sort of a bump, right? And Rusev just getting angry about the fact that,
like, maybe accidentally knock him off the title.
Yeah, but he could turn into a baby face that way, defending the Lana, because she has to be off TV for a while. She has to be off, because apparently right now they're about to do a shoot. Her and Edge or some fucking body going to do a movie together, so they got to take her off TV for a while. So maybe the fact of her giving in to Cena getting the match, like, God, we give you the match, and then the backstage segment of them arguing, of them having heat on each other. It's like, I don't even want you at the WrestleMania match. Get out of here. I don't want to be out here. Maybe that's her way to get off TV. So I was just wondering how creatively are they going to get her off the TV?
Maybe. I can see them keeping her till Mania just because she is such an important... I would say...
But she's shooting a movie?
Yeah, I don't know. Do we have the New Day versus Kid and Cesaro?
Cena heel face too was pretty funny. His face, that was heel Cena face. That was something. But yeah.
Yeah, New Day versus Kid and Cesaro. Nice double team move by the I was gonna say by the New Day this time, but the big scoop slam into the kick. Big E. Kid and Cesaro really didn't do too many awesome shit this week. They did work over the leg of Xavier Woods quite well. That's just kind of the story of the match.
I'll sorry. I can't help but pick on you whenever you go into your fucking marksman. I call him the marksman, by the way.
That's textbook stuff. You don't see any tag team do that where all the offense was centered around the one leg. You see stuff like that's like the Andersons. That's like old school psychology. Like anybody who's never watched wrestling can watch that and they would understand what's going on. They're trying to break his leg because he's quicker, trying to slow him down. It's awesome stuff. That stuff is not picked up on or brought to attention or used in wrestling today, or especially in the WWE. Especially in the WWE.
Are we gonna get through this segment?
Oh well. This is the first of many distraction roll-ups.
This was a clusterfuck.
Yeah.
This is probably the worst. This is one of the worst things I've ever seen.
We all talk about distraction roll-ups on the show. Raw ended with 4 matches, all with the finish of distraction roll-up.
Yay!
Yeah, I just want to say that's a record this week. 4 matches, all distraction roll-ups. For the last hour of the show, distraction roll-ups. And this is the first one. With I think Natty was on the ring, and then then Tyson turned around, distraction roll up right there. The Usos come out.
Well, Naomi got her ass in there. She got her ass punch in.
Yeah.
What do they call that?
No, that was a match too.
Oh, I'm talking about the. Wait, I'm sorry. I'm talking about the New Day, the Usos. Well, it was like fucking Upset City right here. This was like This is brought to you by fucking Upset.
Well, it's obviously
Upset Stomach, Pepto-Bismol. This is brought to you by Pepto-Bismol.
It's just they're just gonna do a 4. They're obviously gonna do a 4-way.
So lame.
Yeah, it's so lame. But between the 2 tag matches, there was the Natty and Naomi match, which was real quick but fucking awesome.
It's great. I've been putting over those 2.
Where Naomi did the high kick and she grabbed it and threw it into a split.
Everything. Because when they do the intergender matches. And they get it, and they have like these great, like epic 15-second like
exchanges.
Yeah, it's like it wins. Those are the real stars.
Yeah.
Those 2. That's the real talent. That's the real AJ Lee, Paige, the Bellas
in the Divas. Yeah.
No, but surrounding that whole feud, surrounding the Usos and the Marksmen.
I would not put.
They are the stars.
So sorry. Oh, the stars are.
They are the stars.
Stars are the talent. It's 2 different things.
I know. I didn't say the talent. I said they're the stars. Because A, they got the Total Divas thing working, and B, they're focusing. If you notice, they're focusing on their technical skill. Like,
for sure.
It's interesting. It makes me happy. I just hope that somehow, when they get out of this, somehow, one way or another, going into after WrestleMania, they'll work them way.
Divas title.
Yes, man. Yeah. Put them in title contendership.
Well, Natty's had it before, but Naomi, I don't think has had it before.
What? She what?
Has she had it?
Huh?
No, it's not even a. I can't. My Divas title history is off.
She had the belt, but it didn't mean shit. It didn't mean it meant as much shit as Kofi Kingston as the Intercontinental Championship. That belt, her as the fucking championship means as much as fucking. Oh my God! It meant nothing. It meant absolutely nothing. She didn't get much of a reign. It just sucked. So now you look at her now. You fast forward 3 years later, she's in a really good spot, and between her and Cameron, and bring up some NXT chicks, they can. You talk about a rehaul of the Divas and the tag teams.
Well, I've been wanting that. I've been wanting that for a while. But then Tyson Kidd distracts Natty to get the rear view. So then that's second distraction roll up.
I want to get the rear view, man.
Yeah.
Can I get a Make-A-Wish?
A Make-A-Wish?
Yeah, I want a rear view for Naomi, man. Let's get. Hey, you listening out there? WWE, you listen to this? I'm
auction off.
Yeah, I'm poor. That's my disability. I'm broke. My pockets are broke, and I want to do a Make-A-Wish while I get the review from Naomi. Can we get that happen? Can we make that happen?
And then he'll win the Warrior Award.
I don't want the Warrior Award.
I'm just,
I just want
the rear view
with the Warrior music playing in the background.
I can see Peter just cheesing, grabbing the turnbuckle. Come on with it. Well, bam!
I don't think that did that much damage.
Yeah, it's like, no, 2 count. I kicked out.
I kicked out.
Crowd's word.
Yeah, I'm right, man. That'd be a make-a-wish for the ages.
And then we went on the Usos and the Los Magicos.
Oh.
A couple of high-flying spots. El Torito goes up to the top rope to distract the Matadors for the 3rd distraction roll-up. 3 in a row. I was baffled. I can't believe my eyes. 3 in a row, distraction roll-up. I know they love it. I know they do it once a week, but I can't believe 3 times in a row.
How long did that segment take? About 15, 20 minutes?
Most of the 3rd hour, I would say.
And there's no way to get that time back.
To just how can we make everything stagnant? The 2 people we built up, the Usos and Kid and Cesaro, we make them lose and the New Day have at least been on TV, but the Matadors beating the Usos. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the Usos, but psychologically, for how you've built the Usos, should not happen.
They could have put put that little recycling, that little recycling image, the little triangle with the arrows and shit. They could have put that right in the middle of the ring during that match. Trash. That was all trash. It's insulting. It's insulting to us as wrestling fans. It's insulting to their product to have that little 20-minute segment happen. It's an insult. It's an insult. It insults everything. Insults everything. And if there was ever a time machine, and there's a lot of things that I would like to go back and change, that would be on the top of that fucking list. My 20 minutes of having to witness that bullshit, right? Mm-hmm. Can we get Superman to fly backwards around the world, then everything just go in reverse, so I could just be like, oh dude, I gotta go take a dump. I go look at my Tumblr, while I'm on the shitter. It would have been way more entertaining. It would have told more of a story than that bull piece of crap that just happened. And that's a lot of heel promos, man, for the night from me.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was kind of, the way they jumbled the Intercontinental title and the tag title feuds, this tonight was just garbage.
What are we doing here?
Yeah, you're just trying to get so many people on Mania. You're not thinking about the fans. I mean, I know you said you don't like R-Truth because of the commentary, but think about it as a storyline perspective. He hasn't been involved with any kind of title for he's been jobbing out for a year, and then all of a sudden he's in an Intercontinental title. How did that happen? Why doesn't? Yeah, why? Because
he beat fucking
Barrett. Everyone's beating Barrett now.
1-9, man.
Yeah.
1-9.
And then we got Rollins and J&J in the back. They're just pretty much going over the main event. Pretty much just really building to Randy Orton's turning. That's just what they're doing tonight. It's not always good to have a swerve. So I guess leading people on to knowing what's happening is not bad all the time.
That's no swerve when you say what happens in the beginning of the
No, that's what I'm
show.
saying. Yeah, it's not a swerve. A lot of times they it's Russo booking. They swerve. So it's kind of different just to have it really set up for you to be oh shit, I know he's gonna do it. Look at these dumbasses, I don't know, I kind of enjoy it from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
But then the Bray in the ring promo calling out Taker. What'd you think of this?
Okay, can I actually call this? I'll make it as quick as possible.
For sure.
From the SmackDown show, right? Peter Talk SmackDown. Make sure to check that out. That's going to be posted every Friday or Saturday or whatever. Got to find Mike Times, blah, blah, blah. I go into the idea of Bray Wyatt and him trying to call out Undertaker. They show this skit of him with the urn. All of a sudden, he just has the urn. How the fuck did you get the urn? Did you just go buy one at the fucking shop or something? Instead of doing a promo about the fact you have the urn, how about they do a little package of you getting it somehow, right? You can't just have the motherfucker.
Yeah.
How the fuck you get it, right? And then they're making him look desperate. This is why it's getting sort of frustrating because you got 3 storylines being led by one guy. You got Triple H, Sting's not around. You got Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar's not around. And now you have Bray Wyatt, Undertaker's not around. So he's having to carry the weight of this entire feud. It's all one-sided, right? So he said, find me, I'm looking for you, I'm desperate. He looks desperate. That doesn't make you look strong when you look desperate. I wish they would change that somehow. So he's in the ring with the fucking urn, right? And he's like, oh yeah, like, I got the urn, I'm gonna open this shit up. Oh, look inside. And he pretends like he's seen something, but then he's laughing and like, oh, no, nothing in it. Then it starts fucking smoking, right? So there's smoke coming out all of a sudden. And then he's like, oh no, you know, everyone's like, I'm thinking Undertaker is actually gonna show up. But nope, he does not show up. And you hear the gong, you hear the lightning, you know, you see the lightning flashes and stuff. You hear the gong 3 times. Everyone's losing their shit because they're thinking, man, he's gonna step out. Nope, we get a fucking chair in the middle of the ring. We get a light. I don't know how the fuck they do that, by the way. But they get the lightning thing, they strike. I don't know how they fucking do that. And then the lightning strikes the rocking chair. All of a sudden, the rocking chair is back. Lightning strikes the son of a bitch. It's on fire, and for a while, I'm like thinking Pyro is like just chomping at the bit to run in that motherfucker and put it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it sits there, it's on fire, and he's in the corner just laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing. You get the Undertaker's actual voice, unlike Sting. Yeah.
This is true.
I accept. Oh, you will rest in peace. But apparently he was backstage.
Just like on a mic?
2 weeks in a row, the Undertaker's been backstage.
That's interesting that they don't. I think they're just saving him for Mania. I mean,
dumb.
Well, last year I remember they did their spots with like the table spot before Mania and like the F5 spot before Mania. So I think they like really pushed it what they could do last year. So they got like tone it back, like, you know, the inhale exhale thing with what you can do.
Well, he doesn't have to take a bump. And this, all he has to do is just stand out there with some druids.
And where's some druids?
And, yeah, you know, and maybe some hoes, and just point at the WrestleMania sign. Yeah. He doesn't have to be like, rest in peace. That's not doing me any favors. Get out there and point at the fucking sign. Yes, I accept your offer, you fucking lame. I'm sitting here trying to like hang out with my old lady.
Michelle McCool.
We trying to kick it, and all I'm getting is like some bullshit. I ain't done nothing to you.
Yeah.
You know, fuck you. You want me at WrestleMania? You got me. Right? I'm at WrestleMania. I'm gonna kick your punk ass. But the whole thing about this too is this whole idea that he's gonna return as the American Badass. That's the dirt sheet talk.
Holy fuck. That would... I don't mind the American Badass for the time, but I think that should just stay in the past. Like,
well, to Vince, it doesn't even exist.
There's so much legs you can do with this, this undead character, you know, playing with, you know, you can play him into, you know, the shithead heel who's trying to prove that he's dead. You can play him into this Bray Wyatt darker character too. You can make the Kane character. I mean, I don't think, but the American Badass, I mean, we already have, you know,
Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, we already got Steve Austin, pretty much. You know what I'm saying?
All he has to do is just show up. And I'm not someone, not for my purposes, but for the purpose of Bray Wyatt. They're making him look more and more desperate. Obviously, he's the vulture trying to pick the bones of a guy who's down and out. He has nothing left. He has no streak.
Yeah.
He has nothing. He's the vulture. That's what he says. He even admits it. I'm here to pick the bones of a guy who was once all merciful. Right? And not only I'm going to break you, I'm not end you, I'm going to break you, I'm going to end you. And I will be the new face of fear. Now, it's all one-sided. You got one guy who, you know, he's saying he wants to do this, but there's no response. So wait a minute. I'm trying to call this guy out. I still haven't gotten a response. He won't even show up. He won't even show up to acknowledge my existence. So he looks more and more and more desperate each week, and I don't like that. I think that he's going to go. We're going into WrestleMania with a guy who is desperate. Desperate. I don't like it. If they were in each other back and forth, he could actually have a leg to stand on.
Yeah.
He could actually have interaction. my existence has been acknowledged, and now we can go back and forth. And I could tell you to your face, and you could tell me to my face how this is all going to turn out, rather than me going, come find me, I'm looking for you, where you at, you on this chair, you on here, huh, where you at, in your locker room, are you hiding from me, why are you hiding from me, I'm trying to get in touch with you, like it's like a bit, it's like trying to holler at a girl, like
see him like pacing back and forth on his phone. Shit.
Yeah, like dude, she's not interested in you. And this is what the other
she just went through a rough breakup with the streak, Brock Lesnar.
it's a waste of time. Well, I only hope he at least shows up on the go home show. Let's make Bray Wyatt look like he's got his attention. Right? That's all I'm asking.
Yeah. We move on to the main event here. Randy and Rollins versus Roman Reigns. Pretty much sets up. The match was kind of it was not that good, but it just pretty much set up where Rollins was trying to tag Randy, and then Randy kind of hesitates, gives him 2 middle fingers. It's kind of hilarious, just like a stone look, just like someone just flicking.
They didn't know what the fuck to do because the sound went out. They're like, no, he didn't say anything. Why is the sound going out?
They're just pressing buttons.
Yeah,
PG, get away from him.
Yeah, I think
is Wiz Khalifa still in the building?
The screen went black for a second, for like a millisecond.
Yeah.
And then the sound went out, and then you just see the camera like sort of focus
on Randy. Yeah.
With his hands out, they freak out. I thought that was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, and then it was a real long, drawn-out thing, but it ends up Randy's just attacking him. It's like, how can you believe that I would not attack you after you attacked me?
Crowd.
And then it ends with a really not. It's the first time we've seen this angle on this table spot where it breaks down and goes down with him. I thought that was pretty cool, but the crowd was kind of dead.
I'm sitting here screaming at my phone. Hey guys, if you're listening to this, it seems like my entire
You hate it, Raw.
I want to say I hate it. It makes me want to pull my hair out, and I don't have any hair anymore.
Do you think it's because you have higher expectations for this Mania build than like the rest of the year? Or?
I just go, these guys should know fucking better. All of these guys should know better. Whether it's the creative, whether it's Vince McMahon, or maybe it's the guys out there performing it. They all should know better. They all should know how this is looking, how this is turning out.
I just think that he should have attacked him, and then they should have done the table spot. They should have thrown him around, talked to him. Like, that was real drawn out. They should have done the big moment and gone for the big pop.
Yeah, but even then, it was just like when he got off the ring post, because you have to take into consideration, for him to have access to him, to be able to do that, 2 things had to happen. The Authority had to be gone. Triple H is not even in the building. All you have is Stephanie backstage. She done sent the Big Show and Kane home, right? Yeah. Mercury's all fucked up. Who does he punch? I think he punches Noble. Noble's fucked up. What's his name? Rollins sends them to the back.
Yeah.
To basically take care of Noble. So it's just Randy and Seth Rollins. So when he steps down off the ring apron and basically now Roman Reigns is basically like he's not even in the ring anymore.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the fourth and final distraction row with the last hour.
It could have been Zack Ryder in that position that Roman Reigns was in.
Yeah.
Like, way to make him look strong.
And Reigns lost. I mean, I know Randy Orton...
No, Reigns won.
No. I was going to say, Reigns lost last week, and then this week he only wins because of this distraction. You're definitely not making him look very strong.
He's not even in the ring. Match. He was an afterthought. Yeah. This was all about Orton and Rollins. They could have gotten Ryback in there. They could have gotten... Hell, you want to really get the crickets from the fuck out of Eric Rowan's locker? Have him in that spot. But the guy who's supposed to be facing Brock Lesnar, they were just cutting a promo on his ass 15 minutes ago for him to be a non-factor in a segment. I know you want to speed up this whole thing with Randy Orton and Rollins. You should have did it at first. He was red hot.
He chased after him at Fastlane. So that should have been the kickoff of the feud. He should have just been like, I want to once you're at Mania, you turned your back on me, you know?
Yeah, well, they should have gave it to us then, and then build the feud from that, but they couldn't do it because, again, it was the whole fucking... They had to squeeze in the opportunity to get Jon Stewart in there. Jon Stewart, I think, was the fucking red herring, and any of that progressing, any feud between Randy Orton getting, physical with Rollins. That all fucking, stooged that shit. And now they're making up for lost time, and that uncomfortable beatdown that he gave should have not lasted that long, like you said earlier. The crowd is not hot at all. It's just like, this is the payoff, you jackasses. Wake up. The spot on the table, it finally gives. Yeah. Kudos to making that sumbitch just a little bit looser. And the shot you said, the angle that he did it from was very interesting, because normally it's from almost kind of looking down. And
they broke down with it. It was crazy.
It looked like it exploded per se, And I bet Orton is just it finally broke. Because you get 3 opportunities. Remember the time he tried to who was it? He ended up bloody. Was it Daniel Bryan? He had to give that sumbitch.
Oh, Mania last year.
No, it was just it was Orton had beef with somebody, and it led to his brain, whoever had showed some color later, because I think he hit him with the bell ring or something, the bell. But he tries to do the RKO on the table, and it takes 3 attempts to finally make it break. Do you remember that?
I know that they've had problems with the table the last few times they've tried. Yeah.
Just Orton though.
I don't know, man. Orton's got down. I know this crowd was dead tonight, but I think Orton's more over now than he has been in years, I would say. With this, I really do think it was that RKO meme thing, and I think they just how he was gone for a little bit could come back. I think the crowd was dead tonight, but I do think Orton is more over than ever, and I do think that Rollins and Orton is going to be probably still the show, looking at all the matches. As far as in-ring, as far as one-on-one, because you can't really count the ladder match, because that's 7 or 8 guys with ladders. You can't really count.
How many one-on-one matches we even got going into Mania?
Rusev, Cena, Reigns and Brock, Sting, Triple H, and
Undertaker,
Bray, Undertaker, and then this is the 5th, Rollins and Orton. I think as those 5 matches is you would say the 5 key marquee matches. I would say those are pretty up there, pretty big.
And only one of them has 2 of them has an actual back and forth in person.
What Cena,
Rusev,
and
Orton, Rollins.
Well, Sting and Triple H.
Sting's not around.
Yeah, but they had a back and forth.
But quote unquote, he's not around.
Yeah,
there's no real interaction really.
Yeah, it's gonna be. That's why I guess they're trying to build it.
That's why it feels so empty. That's why this card feels so empty.
I think when they come out, man, it's gonna blow your mind, especially that Sting entrance, dude.
I'm not saying that it's going to be a bust. Normally, these things work themselves out. The production level is better. Everything's awesome. It's just that. It just feels flat going into it. That's it. It just feels flat. And they've done a great job of making people really apathetic about Reigns, about Bryan, about Orton.
Bryan, yeah. You cannot put a guy over so heavily last year and then not even have him in any kind of a match, have him in a throwaway. And
that's not going to be a throwaway.
It's an Intercontinental title match. He's one of 7 guys.
That belt has been an albatross, right? And something that I was saying about on the SmackDown review is that, why not have Bryan win that fucking Intercontinental belt? Because you remember back in the day, whoever held that Intercontinental belt, the homie was the next in line. Whoever was the top guy, whoever held the belt, he had his eye looking over his shoulder from the guy who had Intercontinental belt.
Mm-hmm. So you think we could get, theoretically, we have Reigns as the world champ, Bryan as the Intercontinental title champ,
and
Cena as the U.S. title.
That belt ain't going nowhere. He ain't get that belt. No. Cena's not gonna have that belt. That fucking match is not gonna be for the U.S. belt.
They said no. She said it. That was the last step she said. She's like, you can have your match. You can have your match for WrestleMania. You can have your match for WrestleMania for the U.S. title. They even built to that step.
He's gonna go, I don't even want the belt. This is about pride. There's not going to be a U.S. belt contendership. I'm telling you now.
I mean,
dude, he's not going to have that belt.
I want him to have it just because it would be so weird.
But, to answer your question, yeah, that's going to be fucking weird. That's a weird scenario.
Yeah.
Reigns with the belt. The IC belt is Bryan. And the U.S. Championship is Cena.
I'm saying that could be going into the next Monday Night Raw. That could be a weird... That's some weird champions. I know they've been giving the U.S. belt to like Sheamus and Rusev, but Cena's on a whole new level than those dudes. Other level.
It just looks weird.
Yeah.
Around him.
I can see.
It looks like a toy.
I can see him just like making a tournament the next night.
Just lifting it.
Yeah.
They need to just get rid of it altogether. There's no real purpose for it. I'm glad that Rusev has it. He does make it look like it's him. It's him. He's on the come up. He's a kid, you know?
Yeah, and it works well with his anti-American.
Yeah, it works perfectly. Again, and in Bryan, you take Bryan, he's the next in line. We haven't had a feeling of an Intercontinental champion being the next guy in line for quite some time. Who was the last Intercontinental champ that was like the next in line for the belt?
Man, well... We thought Ziggler, right? You know, you'd say.
Nope.
And,
nope. Because he hasn't even been in a storyline since his concussion, since losing.
Yeah, the thing is, Bryan won the belt last year. He's had the belt this year, so for him to be next in line is falling back. And if you look at last year's Mania, as far as hype,
of course it's falling back, but he's the guy. Like, he's the next guy. I think the Ultimate Warrior was the last dude with the IC. Well, The Rock. The Rock was
Triple H. Yeah.
Yeah, those were the last guys with the IC belts, where it was like next up. You know, in storyline.
Cena has won the U.S. title at Mania before. He beat the Big Show for it at 21. I just recall that. So now 31, 10 years later, fighting for the U.S. title again. Kind of interesting.
What's the word? That's when he became the face of the company, right? When he won that belt.
Yeah. It was 21 where he F5'd Big Show. That was the big spot that year. It was like opening match, and he won the U.S. title. And he was really getting over with the rapper gimmick. And then by 22, he was beating JBL for the SmackDown title. So yeah. And I think 23, 24, he was wrestling Triple H for the Raw title. So that was him stepping up, yeah.
But that was for the U.S. belt.
24 was
an Intercontinental belt. You know, Shawn Michaels, when he had it, and he's like, I'm coming for that fucking
him and Razor,
gold.
The ladder match.
You know, I'm coming for that gold. It's just going to be a change of philosophy for the first time in a very long time. Because it's
we need it.
Yeah, and they're going to have to change up their script, because whoever had those two belts, it's just, they never got scripted into anything worth anything.
Yeah.
Oh, well. So, yeah. Any last words before we go into our plugs?
No, man. No.
That's it. So, thank you so much for listening to a very frustrated version of the Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling. Maybe from my perspective. I apologize for coming off really frustrated, but maybe you guys feel the same way. But again, thank you again for listening to the Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling podcast. This is episode 29, by the way.
Oh, nice.
29.
Wait, so 31, WrestleMania 31 is going to be episode 31.
Will it?
Yeah, two, maybe. No, I think 32 actually. Maybe I'm just like.
Either way, the next week
the go home show will be 31, which is kind of cool.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
But that's, you have to just to come to grips with everything. I remember last SummerSlam. The first of these were the SummerSlam prediction show. And then we tried to find a smoother way to record these 28, 29 episodes later. Here we are. I think that's a grave achievement.
Yeah.
We've almost gone a year. The magic number is 52.
Yeah,
that will be a solid year, and that's 20 more. And I feel like we're only getting started. So anybody who's listening, whether SoundCloud, Stitcher Radio, YouTube, or if you're actually getting this SoundCloud stream off of Tumblr, thank you so much. When we see the number of people listening, even though it's not a lot, it's still enough to make sure that we feel that we're actually doing this for somebody. Between Peter and Jake Talks Wrestling, between Fast in the World Podcast, between Peter Talks Wrestling with, now Peter Talks SmackDown, Alexa starting her Divas, Dang We Love Divas podcast. We're just going to continue to give you guys as much good content as possible, but we need you guys to do something for us. If you are listening, you need to hit the thumbs up on the Stitcher Radio. You need to press the heart on the SoundCloud. You have to subscribe. You have to bookmark the .com. You have to do all these things. Comment. Hit us up on add us on Twitter. These little things help us. Rate us. Please do share on your feed, whether your Twitter account, whether your Facebook account, all those little things. Like us on YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube page. All these things help us. So if you could do that, we'd be definitely great. What's coming up with what's coming up with the next NXT? Anything?
I'm not sure the card next time. I know they're setting up for, I think it's May 25th is their next big show. Finn Balor versus Kevin Owens. Alex Riley and Kevin Owens is a feud now going on, which is as weird and wild as that is. And they have Brian Kendrick now, Rhino. I think they're going to get a few other older guys in there, which is kind of interesting to help the younger guys. And
Fast in the World podcast Saturday morning. The Saturday mornings when those go up. Be sure to listen to last week's Fast in the World podcast if you haven't already. Be sure to listen to Peter Talks Wrestling with Headliner 5, aka Nathan. Also listen to last week's Raw review with Alexa Feldman. Yesterday was the first Dang We Love Divas podcast, so check that out. If you watch Total Divas, that is a review in itself. Be sure to tune in this Friday for hopefully an interview with Alice Radley of the Jim Cornette Experience. Nice. That's going to be awesome. I'll also have a review SmackDown, Peter Talks SmackDown, and that's about it.
Follow me on Twitter at JG Pro Wrestling.
Do you Instagram or anything like that?
No, just Twitter, man. Hit me up.
The Twitter?
Mackenzie Hill. Thanks for talking to me.
Oh man, so many shout outs, dude. Next week we'll get like some bona fide shout outs out there.
Oh yeah.
Some bona fide shout outs. I feel like we need to go because we got away from that.
Yeah.
But next week we'll get some bona fide shout outs. And yeah, you can find me at LINJAPANESC. That's L in Japanese. It's March Madness, so we're going to be tweeting a lot about the NCAA
Greensboro
tournament.
We're in Greensboro, so the ACC's here.
Yeah, and also we're getting into the playoffs. I'm be talking about my Pacers, and plus it's the beginning of the NFL season. Today it's the beginning of
the draft,
free agency.
Oh, nice.
Free agencies and trades started today. A lot of big shakeup in the NFL. Big shakeup. Graham going to Seattle. Yeah, dude. And so on and so forth. So I'm going to be tweeting a lot about that. And you can also find the wrestling, the actual PJTW Central at twitter.com, where I'll be doing live tweets, raw, and reposting and saying that's on my mind about wrestling in general. So let's go ahead and get out of here. You got any last words?
No. Later.
Later. Thanks for listening.
You have been listening to Peter and Jake Talks Wrasslin podcast. Please tune in next week.